Hello everyone, welcome to this video, welcome to Oliveboard. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about the preparation strategy related to accounting and auditing for UPSC EPFO EO exam or the AO exam and the APFC exam 2025. So before starting the discussion, if you are preparing for RBI Grade B examination, this is a live webinar on 27th of July 4 PM. You can join this and ace this examination, learn the strategy to ace this examination. Let's discuss about the UPSC EPFO EO and AO exam pattern first, so you know that these are the subjects that you need to study. Number of questions will be 120 and 300 marks का paper होने वाला. In this particular video we are going to discuss about general accounting principle, what things you need to learn if we talk about the general accounting principle, right? And in the APFC exam, what about this particular accounting and auditing, right? What about this particular accounting and auditing subject? So rest of the subjects also you can see here. There is general English in AO exam, EO exam, Indian freedom struggle, current affairs, development issues, computer applications, general accounting, quantitative aptitude, and so on. And some other subjects, some add-on subjects are also there. So basically the accounting portion in both the vacancies is the same only. However, if I talk about the APFC exam, definitely the difficulty level will be much higher as compared to the AO or EO exam, right? So we'll be definitely one by one discussing like what you guys should be doing in the accounting and auditing part. Auditing part is only there in the APFC, right? क्योंकि APFC की जॉब रोल के अंदर कुछ ऐसी ड्यूटीज होती है जहां पे ऑडिटिंग रिलेटेड भी उनको नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, राइट? एक ईओ को एनफोर्समेंट ऑफिसर यानी कि इंस्पेक्टर या फिर अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर को अकाउंटिंग प्रिंसिपल्स का बहुत अच्छा नॉलेज होना चाहिए ताकि he or she will be able to understand the balance sheet and P&L and take calls accordingly. However, APFC is more of a strategic role in nature, right? Here you need to have knowledge of both accounting as well as the auditing, right? तो यहाँ पे आपको ऑडिट करना भी आना चाहिए so that you are having that kind of analytical mind. उससे आप easily क्या कर सको, inspections और supervision कर सको, right? So this is broadly the account syllabus for your EO and AO examination. This is general accounting principle based on the PYQ paper analysis, okay? Based on the past year questions analysis, we have drafted this particular thing. So introduction to accounting, you need to study here the basics of accounting. You need to have a good understanding of what is revenue expenditure, what is capital expenditure, revenue income and capital income, branches of accounting, objectives of accounting, and the most important thing here will be the accounting process. First you need to understand how the entire process is working, right? So accounting process will be very important here. Next is the accounting principles and convention. Again, a important concept, right? There are certain conventions, concepts and principles which we are following in order to do the daily accounting, right? So this part will also be important. The level will be easy to moderate for EO and AO post. The level will be easy to moderate, okay? And you can check the previous year questions as well. Some of the questions are quite direct, okay? Anywhere you can expect around 10 to 15 questions in the EO or AO. Then we need to learn how the transactions are being recorded. So how the business transactions are recorded, what is source document, what is the accounting equation, subsidiary books, and rules of debit credit. So here you need to know both the modern rule of accounting and the traditional rule of accounting. Then there is trial balance. We have seen there are multiple questions from the trial balance as well. So you need to have a very good understanding of how trial balance is prepared, what are the accounting adjustments and what are the accounting errors that trial balance can easily detect. Then bills of exchange related concepts. So basics of bills of exchange should be very much clear to you guys as well. Accounting standard, you should be having a overview of accounting standard, plus you need to learn AS2, AS9 and AS10, okay? So we'll be covering these major accounting standards in our course as well. So AS2 is related to inventory, AS9 is related to revenue recognition, and AS10 is related to property, plant and equipment, which is including depreciation as well, right? So basically आपको ये सारी चीज़ों का यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे से understanding होना चाहिए. Plus there are some more topics in accounting standards that I'll be covering in paid course as well. Then share capital की accounting transactions कैसे होते हैं, उनका basic, उनका overview. Most important, accounting for inventory and investment. We have seen questions from valuation of inventory, like what is FIFO method, practical application of FIFO, LIFO, weighted average, right? So ये सारा आपको theory plus practical आना चाहिए. However, we already covered this in AS2 itself. Then there is preparation and presentation of final accounts. So this is again an important chapter, how trading P&L accounts are being prepared, how balance sheets we are preparing, right? How to ascertain the financial position and performance, and certain adjustments that you need to know. Ratio analysis, a practical question can definitely come from this topic. So you need to learn the ratio analysis in a good manner. However, I don't expect you guys to learn ratio analysis at a very higher level. You need to learn at a easy to moderate level that will be more in a exam oriented manner, right? And then cash flow statement is again a part of financial statements only, so that also you need to know. So this is your accounting portion for your AO or EO examination, right? I will ask you guys to please cover the basic to moderate level. And what will be the order of your preparation? So first try to cover these 4 topics. These are the basics of accounting basically, right? Then try to cover the final accounts part. The first priority will be basics of accounting. Then you need to know final accounts, ratio analysis, and cash flow statement. Once you are done with that, please try to cover accounting standards with specific reference to AS2, AS9 and AS10. First try to cover these 3 accounting standards and basics of accounting standards. I even ask you guys to please cover the Ind AS applicability as well. You need to know the Ind AS applicability at least, right? Then you can move to other topics like share capital. Okay, so this particular inventory portion I'm already assuming we are studying in AS2, okay? Because that's a part of AS2 as well. Then you need to know the accounting for share capital transaction. So this will be your priority level 5th, and then bills of exchange. Okay, so this should be your flow of preparation. Okay, first try to cover basics. Majority of the questions they are asking from basics only. The rest of the topics you can expect 1 or 2 questions from every topic, right? Then if I talk about the APFC, the syllabus will remain the same only. However, the level will increase. Now the level will be moderate to difficult. So you need to learn the same topics again with some additions as well. Okay, I'll be telling you the additions as well later on. So you need to learn them on a moderate to difficult level of difficulty. Why? Because this is a APFC examination. This is the Assistant Commissioner level examination. So you need to learn at a higher level. Definitely the level of difficulty will increase. Otherwise the topics are broadly the same only. Okay. Now, if I talk about auditing, it is a part of APFC syllabus. Okay, so don't study it for EO or AO exam. This is a complete part of APFC exam only. So as we can see here in the APFC exam, they have covered the accounting and auditing. And when we talk about EO or AO exam, they have written just the general accounting principles. Okay. So again, you need to study the fundamentals of auditing. What is the concept of auditing? What is auditing? Why we are doing auditing? How it is different from investigation, the types of audit report important. Then audit planning, how do we plan audit, what is the audit strategy, audit planning, and how do we prepare audit programs. Then risk and control, we try to ascertain what are the risks and we try to control that risk. Then the 4th point is audit procedures, vouching, verification, techniques of auditing, company audit, role of the auditor and different types of auditing, how the auditor is auditing different types of entities, standards of auditing. Again, you need to be selective while studying the 6th topic because there are a lot of standards on auditing, and in the paid course definitely I'll be guiding you. Majorly you need to study what is essay all about, and types of essay ke andar it will be good if you have a brief idea of essay 200, you have a brief idea of essay 240, right? And some of the essays I'll be telling you in paid course as well, like what things you need to study in the standards of auditing, because there are a lot of essays here, so you don't have to study each and every essay, right? So this will be the sequence of auditing. And again, if I talk about the additional topics, some of the additional topics, then you need to learn basics of cost accounting. Okay, so different costing terminologies you should be having an idea about. Inventory management, very important. General taxation related updates. If there is any recent update in the GST rate related to a specific item that was quite prevalent in news, so that will again be important for you guys. If there is any kind of update in the income tax side, that can be important for you. Basic terminologies of taxation. We have seen in the previous year question, they have asked questions related to amalgamation, absorption and internal reconstruction, but a basic one. So you just have to at least know the meaning of what amalgamation is, what is absorption, how absorption is different from amalgamation, and what is internal reconstruction. That will also be fine, right? Basics of non-profit organizations and joint venture is another topic you need to study for APFC. So these are some of the additional topics. Plus in the paid course, I'll be taking some miscellaneous topics as well that can be important for your examination. Okay, so broadly we are having this syllabus. You can expect 10 to 15 questions in both EO, AO and APFC examination related to accounting and auditing. So here there will be questions only related to accounting. The level will be easy to moderate. In APFC there will be questions 10 to 15 both from accounting and auditing. It can go up to 18 as well. The level will be moderate to difficult, right? This is the syllabus, entire syllabus. Okay, please make note of this particular syllabus, and you need to follow this priority level only, because that will definitely be helpful for you in the examination. This will be a better priority level for you guys. Okay, so some of the questions that they have asked in the previous year question, they are asking direct questions. If we can see here, according to the accounting standard 1, which of the following is considered as a fundamental accounting assumption? Even if they do not write accounting standard 1, still the answer will remain same only. So the correct choice here is going concern, consistency and accrual. Now this particular thing we study in the very first class, right? Those who have taken the paid course of RBI or SEBI, they know that we study this particular concept in the very first or the very next class, right? Going concern, consistency, accrual are my fundamental accounting assumption. What is the meaning of fundamental accounting assumption? This is purely fundamental, that anyone will assume that you have followed at least these three concepts and conventions while preparing your financial statements. Let's suppose I have made my financial statements. If I show it to anyone, they will assume that I must have followed going concern, I must have followed consistency, I must have followed accrual basis of accounting. That's what fundamental accounting assumption means. Next is, which of the following errors is not detected by the trial balance? So later on when you go through the options, you can see that there is a error of principal here. Conversion of temporary sheds into permanent building. So I was converting the temporary sheds into the permanent building. Now that's a capital expenditure, because it is resulting in creation of a building, of a capital asset. So I can say that it is a capital expenditure. However, it was recorded as a repairs and maintenance expenditure, which is a revenue expenditure in nature. So what I have done here, I have recorded a capital nature expenditure as a revenue nature expenditure, right? So this particular error won't be detected by the trial balance because it's an error of principle here. Next, the credit purchase of machinery. So I have purchased the machinery on credit. That's a capital asset. Again, that's a capital expenditure recorded in the purchase book. Now what I record in purchase book whenever I am purchasing my inventories. So machinery is not an inventory, rather it is a fixed asset. It is a capital asset. It is a capital expenditure. And when I buy inventory, it is a revenue kind of expenditure, right? So again, I have done an error of principle, right? The accountant which has committed this error is not having sound accounting principles, is what we can say, right? They are treating a capital expenditure as a revenue expenditure. If you have purchased a machinery, it should ideally go to your fixed asset register. However, you have recorded it in purchase book. That means you have considered it as an inventory, as a stock, which is incorrect, right? So here the error is error of principle. Next is outstanding rent may be classified as which of the following? So this particular question is from traditional rule of accounting. we are having rules in accounting, modern rule and traditional rule. So this question is from your traditional rule of accounting. I always insist, I always request that if you are making a journal entry, please directly follow the modern rule of accounting, because that's straight, that is easy, right? And that is time saving. And in competitive exams, we have to value time as much as we have to value the concepts. Time is very, very important, right? We need to attempt all the questions in a time bound manner. You are only having 120 minutes to answer the questions. So whenever you are making journal entry, you need to follow the modern rule of accounting. However, you can get in the examination direct questions from traditional rule of accounting. So you don't have to ignore traditional rule of accounting. It's just that you need to make journal entries from modern concept of accounting, and traditional concept of accounting you can learn in a theory based manner. However, we'll be teaching you in a practical based manner as well. Don't make journal entries from traditional accounting, but do remember the concept of traditional accounting. So outstanding rent will be classified as which of the following account? Have a look. Outstanding rent. Rent is an expense. However, if it is an outstanding rent, then that is a liability for me. Why? Because that's an obligation for me. Let's suppose I have taken a beautiful house on rent. I have taken this house on rent. The rent is 10,000 rupees per month. Now, if I haven't paid the rent to the landlord, I am the tenant. I haven't paid this rent of 10,000 to the landlord, right? I haven't paid the rent to the landlord, so this will be a liability for me because that's a obligation for me. However, outstanding rent for my landlord will be an asset here, because he have earned this particular rent. However, I haven't paid it. So if it is still outstanding, it is representing someone. It is representing someone. Whom it is representing? Obviously my tenant. It is representing the tenant of the landlord. So representative personal account. This is not at all an expenditure account. Most of the students will tick here nominal account. Nominal account is not correct. Rent is an expense, or it can be income as well. So that's why it can be a nominal account. However, outstanding rent can either be an asset for landlord, it can be a liability for the tenant. So this will be representative personal account. So option B here will be the correct choice, right? And what sources you can use to study and you can ace this examination? So first preference will be paid course. If you don't have the background of commerce, then I will advise you for the very first source. Not because I am teaching in this particular course. You can take any course from the market, जहाँ पे भी आप ज़्यादा कनेक्ट कर पाओ फैकल्टी से, जहाँ पे भी आपको बढ़िया लगे, जहाँ मज़ा आए वहाँ पे लेना चाहिए. पर अगर आप नॉन कॉमर्स स्टूडेंट हो और आप ये एग्जाम दे रहे हो, तो आपको पेड कोर्स लेना चाहिए. वाई? बिकॉज यू वॉन्ट बी एबल टू कवर each and everything in a crisp manner, in a beautiful manner, right? So that's why I advise you कि अगर आपका नॉन कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड है तो आपको डेफिनेटली पेड कोर्स लेना चाहिए. अगर आपका कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड है पर आपके कॉन्सेप्ट्स उतने ज्यादा स्ट्रांग नहीं है या काफी टाइम हो गया है पढ़े हुए, तो वापस आपको पेड कोर्स लेना चाहिए. अगर आपका कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड है और स्ट्रांग बैकग्राउंड है, आपको अभी भी चीजें याद हैं, अच्छे से याद है, तो यू कैन यूज एनी ऑफ दीज बुक्स लाइक एनसीईआरटी बुक्स ऑफ 11th and 12th. सो आई एम नॉट सजेस्टिंग कि आप पूरी एनसीईआरटी बुक पढ़ो, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. यू नीड टू read it in a crisp manner. That's why I never insist on reading NCERT or any other professional books. Why? Because these books are not for clearing the APFO examination, SEBI, PFRD examination. ये 11th 12th की बुक्स है, यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेलिंग है, उतनी ज़्यादा डिटेलिंग इस वाले एग्जाम में आती नहीं है. That's why I always prefer for a paid course. क्योंकि वहां पे हम लोग ऑलरेडी, जिससे भी पढ़ रहे हो आप, जिस भी इंस्टीट्यूशन से पढ़ रहे हो, वहां पे ऑलरेडी वो लोग क्या कर चुके हैं, सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स को समराइज करके जो एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड चीजें हैं उनको नोट्स में निकाल चुके हैं. सो फिल्टर करने वाला पार्ट आपको मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ेगी, उसके अंदर ऑलरेडी वी हैव अ शॉर्ट अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम, राइट? वी डोंट हैव सो मच ऑफ टाइम. सो फिल्टर करने वाला पार्ट बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है एक नॉन कॉमर्स स्टूडेंट के लिए. अगर आपका बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बैकग्राउंड है तो आपको पता है कि क्या क्या पढ़ना है. एनसीईआरटी बुक से आप सेलेक्टिव बेसिस पे पढ़ सकते हो, इंटरनेट से, एआई टूल से भी पढ़ सकते हो. अगर आपको थोड़े से एडवांस लेवल कॉन्सेप्ट्स पढ़ने जो आपको एनसीईआरटी के बुक्स में कभी काफी बार चैप्टर्स नहीं मिलते हैं, सो आप आईसीएआई, आईसीएसआई, आईसीएमएआई की बुक्स भी पढ़ सकते हो, वो भी बेसिक लेवल वाली, फर्स्ट लेवल, फाउंडेशन लेवल वाली। इंटर और फाइनल तक बिल्कुल भी जाने की नीड नहीं है, उतना लेवल नहीं है। यू नीड टू स्टडी द बेसिक्स ऑफ अकाउंटिंग, राइट। अगर आपके पास एनसीईआरटी नहीं है, टीएस गरेवाल है तो वो भी चल जाएगी, या कोई और अकाउंटिंग की बुक है तो वो भी चल जाएगी, जो भी आपने 11th-12th में पढ़ी हो। ग्रेजुएशन की बुक्स है बीकॉम एमकॉम की, उसके अंदर आपके चैप्टर्स अच्छे से कवर हो जाते हैं, तो आप वहां से भी पढ़ सकते हो बेसिक्स। पर डू रिमेंबर, सेलेक्टिव बेसिस पे पढ़ना अगर इन बुक से पढ़ रहे हो तो, ठीक है। सब कुछ मत पढ़ना, प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन स्टडी करना, फिर चेक करना कि क्या क्या आता है, उसके बाद ही आप ये उठाओ। नहीं तो आई विल एडवाइज यू टू डायरेक्टली गो फॉर अ पेड कोर्स। उससे आपका मेजर एक टेंशन खत्म हो जाता है, प्लस आपको मेंटोरशिप मिल जाती है जहां पे भी आप ज्वाइन कर रहे हो। ओके, सो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय एंड फॉर टुडे गाइस। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर watching this video. See you soon. We will be bringing some more videos related to UPSC EPFO. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. कोई query हो तो comment section में जरूर बताइएगा।